Questions. Please wait for the mic holder to reach you, then state your name and affiliation before asking a question. And please say who you are directing your question to. And joining us today are student athletes from the University of Georgia. We have senior Michaela Coombs and senior Jenna Stady. So if we have questions for the student athletes, we'll go ahead with those now.
Chuck Schaffner, retired AP. Jenna, Dayton have some size inside. Just wondering what kind of matchup you're expecting in there.
I know for sure. For the past couple of days, we have been looking at Dayton and going through their scout, and they have great size. I think both guards and post. I'm excited for the matchup. I have great respect for their post players, and so I'm excited.
Another question. Georgia has a long history of NCAA tournament success and getting into the tournament. Is that a motivator for you to kind of keep that, for you and your teammates to kind of keep that going?
Oh, no, for sure. Coming to Georgia, Coach Doney, we always talk about, getting to the tournament is part of Georgia's tradition, and it's been taken care of by the past, and so each year that's a goal of ours, and our mindset coming into this is, take one game at a time, and the rest will fall on us.
Michaela, when you transferred in from Connecticut, two-part question. A, did you feel like, you're kind of coming home? And B, what did you do to find your role with a new team?
That was probably one of the main things that Coach Johnny welcomed me home greatly. So that was probably the best part about being able to transfer is coming home, being close to my family. They're able to come to pretty much every game. And then the second part was just the coaches are very focused on me just being able to play and help in any way I can. So I don't really think there was a way in finding a role, just trying to go out there and do everything I can to help.
Tom Crushell, Des Moines Capital. Michaela, last year you started 2 games. You didn't have many starts, obviously, before this year. What would you say to someone who's an off-the-bench player about patience and waiting your time?
Yeah, I think last year I actually took it as a blessing in disguise because I think being able to come in off the bench, you're able to see how you can impact the game from the bench, and it was easier for me to come in and see little things that I could do. So I think just giving any advice to anybody that's waiting on that time, just try to impact in any way you can, just coming off the bench.
Do we have any more in-person questions for the student athletes? All right, we'll now move to remote, and we'll start with Brandon Sudge.
Hey, Michaela, I think I've asked every single one of your teammates about her, but can you think of a moment with Reagan in practice where you've really been able to see her talents that really have amazed you at any point?
Yeah, honestly, I think for me it started when Ray first came to Georgia, on the summer workouts, just seeing him pick up her weight, just to be able to score in bunches, and just seeing how natural it was for her. So that was probably the first outlook of it that I saw.
All right, now we'll go to McLean Baxley.
Hey, for a question for both Michaela and Jenna, what are you expecting from Dayton, and then also how do you measure success with this year's tournament for y'all individually?
We'll start with Michaela and then go to Jenna.
Dayton's a really good team. We were able to watch last night, but we've been preparing for them for the past couple of practices. But I think just knowing that they're able to shoot the three really well, they have good size, both guards and posts, and just it's going to be a fast-paced game, so that's what we're expecting. And measuring the success in the tournament, I think we're just taking it one game at a time, but we're just focused on setting our legacy here.
Would you?
Just piggyback off what Michaela said. They have great size. They defend really well. They kind of, remind us of kind of what we do. it's going to be a fast-paced game, and then like Michaela said, our main focus is one game at a time, and the rest it'll fall on us, and just leaving our legacy is the most important thing.
Any more questions for the student athletes? Thank you so much for joining us. Good luck. All right, before we get started, everyone please ensure that your phones are on silent. For those of us joining us remotely through Zoom, please use the raise hand function if you would like to ask a question. We will take in-person questions first, then we will move to Zoom remotely. Please state your name and affiliation before asking your question. So, Coach, if you would like to start us off with an opening statement, then we'll take questions.
Yeah, obviously, we're really proud and excited to be here. This is the 35th NCAA tournament for the University of Georgia women's basketball program, and it just speaks to the tradition and excellence that we've had for a really long time. It's something that we can constantly talk to our ladies about in terms of leaving their legacy and leaving Georgia better than they found it. And I think that when we brought our senior class in 2017, those ladies are now seniors. And so for them to be at this point, we have a chance to really take advantage of a great opportunity, but so do a lot of other teams. And so excited to know who we're finally playing. Spent some time, obviously, prepping Dayton the last few days, but can now really hone in and watch some film and get ready to play a really, really good team. Have a lot of respect for everything that they've done, not just this year, but just traditionally. You talk about another program that just continues to grow and get better, and they've got great size inside and out. So going to be a really tough matchup for us. But excited about the opportunity to represent the University of Georgia.
All right, we will now take questions for head coach Joni Taylor.
Tom Crochelle, Des Moines Capital. Coach, you paid your dues. You're young, but you paid your dues as an assistant coach. And I'm wondering, just in the relatively short time you have been in charge at Georgia, if you could speak to how the women's game collegiately is changing with the portal and how different it is even from your first year.
Yeah, it's a lot different. I think about even as a player to being an assistant coach to being a head coach, there's been a lot of changes in our game. Going to 4 quarters, obviously you're asking about the portal, but changes in the game itself. The three-point line has moved. Going to the 4th quarter, our pace is a lot faster. I think there's more parity in our game. The fan experience is different. We are now, for the most part, especially in our conference, on TV every single game. So the exposure is a lot more than what it used to be. As it relates to the portal and just transferring and other things, that changes the game tremendously because as coaches, you can decide a few different ways to go about the recruiting process. Are you going to recruit the portal? Are you going to recruit high school students? And also about how you manage your current roster because now they have the opportunity to go into the portal and transfer and play immediately. So all those things impact just your team, your roster from day to day, and how you manage things.
Okay, in light of that, you had some 6th-year
Yes.
players elect to stay and play a 6th year. Can you speak to how that has positively impacted your season?
Well, I think it speaks to, number one, our culture and our chemistry. You know, how many times do you see a freshman class come in and then not only do they stay for their 4th year, Q Morrison stayed for a 5th and Jenna stayed for a 6th year of basketball. So I think that points directly to our culture and our chemistry. We're very intentional about who we bring into our program and the young ladies who represent the University of Georgia. So it speaks to chemistry and culture. How it has impacted us has been tremendous. When we recruited our freshmen that are here this year, Reagan Richardson, Jillian Hollenshed, Kimora Jenkins, Alina Sendar, and Tanea Hilton, we talked about, you know, them watching Jenna and them watching Q, watching those other players. And then, lo and behold, they now get a chance to play with them. So Reagan being guarded by Q Morrison every day has been invaluable for her and her progress. Jillian Hollenshed going against Jenna Stady every day in practice has been invaluable for her. So those young ladies came to Georgia because of what Q, Jenna, Michaela, those players decided to do, but they never dreamed they would play with them. And then you talk about impact. You talk about the leadership they have. They are just professionals. They walk in every day and they put the hard hat on. They go to work. They and just lead by example and with their voice. They've been here. They've done it. And so when we are in good times, not so good times, whatever that is, there's just a steadiness about them. There's a maturity about them that just calms everyone down. And it's been really, really good for us to see how they've led this year. And I'm looking forward to what they do in the tournament.
You mentioned Georgia's tradition as the head coach. Do you feel a great responsibility as the head coach to keep that going and not be the one to let it go backwards?
No, absolutely. I was fortunate to be at Georgia 4 years with Coach Landers as an assistant coach, and just to learn from him and the other assistant coaches I worked with, to be around former players who continue to come back, and just the closeness that is shared between alumni and the community, and just the respect. And it is impossible to come to our facility, walk through those halls, and see the Olympians and the WNBA players and the All-SEC, the Players of the Year, and not know what you're walking into. That is an expectation that I want. I think our young ladies want it, and it's something that we're extremely proud of. We are here because of what Coach Landers did and the vision he had for Georgia women's basketball, and so it's with great humility and responsibility that we want to make sure we're continuing to not only maintain but enhance the legacy that is Georgia basketball.
You've been selected to work with the national team, in Minneapolis. What does that mean for you as a coach to be able to work for USA Basketball and players at that level?
Obviously, it's a tremendous honor. I'm extremely humbled and excited to be with players of that at that level, and the best in the world, and to work with Cheryl Reeves and whoever the assistant coaches end up being, just to learn from them and help in any way I can. I think it also speaks to the staff we have in place here at Georgia. We've had the same staff for all 7 years, and so it allows me the comfort to know that I can step away, obviously at the Final Four, but even in other USA Basketball things that I've been fortunate to be a part of, you can step away knowing that you have continuity with your staff and that everything's going to be fine when you're not in Athens with the team. But just extremely humbled, really excited, and grateful for the opportunity.
At the same time, do you hope you're busy that weekend?
I absolutely hope I'm busy, and then have to regretfully say that I cannot participate.
Coach Andrew Logue, I'm helping out the AP. I understand your husband, I read, is a general manager in the WNBA, and what I wanted to know was, schematically or player development, can you guys kind of feed off each other, or what are the conversations you kind of have?
He is the assistant GM for the Atlanta Dream. He's been an assistant coach there for 3 years, and then transitioned to assistant GM this past year. Before that, he was an assistant coach on Dawn Staley's staff at Temple and at South Carolina. So obviously, basketball is who we are. We eat, breathe, and sleep it. And we're fortunate to be in a situation where our seasons, don't interact, and we can support each other. But yeah, we talk all the time about if it's player development, if it's schemes, just all those things. I think we both have learned when to give each other space, to have those conversations, and when the right time is to do it. But he has a brilliant mind when it comes to player development, when it comes to post-player development, guard development. And so, yeah, obviously it's something that we just, at this point in our relationship, I don't even think we know we're talking about it. It's the flow of our conversation, if it's in the car, at the breakfast table, or in passing, because most of the time we are just two ships, passing in the night. But extremely grateful and to have a partner like him who understands what we're doing and what we want to do, and supports everything that we are doing. And likewise, when it's his season, we support him.
All right, we'll now move remote. A reminder, if you have a question, please use the raise hand function, and we will get to you. We will start with McLean Baxley.
This is McLean Baxley with the Athens Banner Herald. All season, y'all had goals. You want to do this by this time. Different teams and different personal goals. What would be a measure of success for the team this weekend and going forward in the tournament?
Hey, McLean. I think for us, it is exactly what you heard Michaela and Jenna say. In this tournament, it can be daunting if you start looking too far ahead. So obviously, the overriding conversation when you come to Georgia is not only to make it to the NCAA tournament, it is to make a deep run into the tournament. But now that we are at this point, the conversation has been, before last night it was Dayton and DePaul, and now it is Dayton. And that is the only thing that is in front of us, because there's no other, that's the expectation, because if you don't take care of business there, then there's nothing else to look forward to. So we go, obviously, I think we have overall goals for what we want to do, but our main focus is what's in front of us now, and that's the Dayton Flyers.
All right, now we'll go to Brandon Sudge.
Hey, Coach. Brandon Sudge with the agency. I was at a Dayton game last night, and you're right. They're big, and they can shoot. Are there some things that stand out to you the most after watching them last night? And how do you guys kind of go about defending the three-point line?
Hey, Brandon. Obviously, it's a tremendous focal point for us defending the three. They've got a few people who can just really stroke it. And what really stood out last night was how they shot it in transition. And so that's a key area for us, making sure we get back and we get checked up and run people off the 3-point line. You know, this is a team where if you let them do what they do well, you're going to be in for a long night. So we've got to buckle down and just bear down and make sure that we take them out of what they want to do and force them to score in other ways. And obviously they have a really balanced approach in terms of their guard play and also can get it inside. So we're going to have our hands full. But I think it's the area of concern, obviously, when you look at in the past couple of games, we struggled to defend the three. So it's going to be a focal point for what we do, and we've got to be keyed in and locked in on it.
Any more questions for, we'll go to Brandon again.
And then I just wanted to ask about Joey and Hollingshire. I know the other day he said everybody was healthy, but how would you guys like to use her this weekend, if at all?
Well, excited because there's an opportunity to, play against 3 guards, 2 posts. Our last couple of games, even though she has been healthy and ready to go, it's been a 4-guard lineup. And, Dayton can do that as well. But we'll have an opportunity, hopefully, to get her in, tomorrow because she's been able to practice as of late and she's got a good rhythm going. And she obviously is someone who's helped us, especially in the non-conference before she started having some issues and some injuries. So excited about what she's done and the progress she's made over the last couple of weeks as she's been able to string along a couple of practices. And certainly, hope to be able to get her on the floor at some point tomorrow.
Coach Taylor, thanks so much for joining us and good luck.
Thank you.
A recording of this press conference will be available.